Hi guys, Doug here with a new video. In this video, I come to you again talking about mains and alts, and I finally decided to go back to the roots, and I wanted to give you a few explanations on why, and what's to come with the next videos, but also give you some inspiration to you guys maybe that are looking into new mains or new alts. It feels like I do like that kind of video every single week. But I found myself wanting to play again the like mains and alts that I always had in the past, regardless of power level, regardless of how it seems, but also just in general, like which specs or classes do I find myself the most comfortable playing in the War Within. I did try and play a lot of specs and classes like throughout the start of the expansion. We are like currently close to 1 month and a half of the expansion, and I do feel like now I have decided finally on what I wanted to play and the reasons why. First and foremost, I've played a multitude of classes and specs. Like I played monk, I played rogue, I played warlock, I played hunter. He doesn't move, I don't know why. Evoker, and I also played druid, obviously. And I even played those 4 classes, which is shaman, warrior, paladin, and death knight. I want to talk a bit about those classes. And the 5th flex class I'm going to play, it's mostly going to be an alt, probably, depending on how it goes. But I'm going to talk why I choose, which ones I choose. First and foremost, let's talk about shaman. I did make a post about it on community post, so I don't know if you did read it, but I actually am decided to play again enhancement shaman. So I did make a hiatus of playing enhancement shaman. I think it has been a very long time I didn't play this spec. Not very long time, but a very long time in the War Within. I think it's like 2 weeks I didn't play this spec because I was like kind of disgusted with how I lose those games, and not because of like the spec and how it plays, but mostly because I didn't really like to get slowed and rooted every single time. And playing totemic is not really my dream like hero spec. I don't really like totemic, but I decided to play enhancement shaman again, to play battleground blitz, to play like solo QRBG, to play solo shuffle, try to go as high as I can, although like again the memory is kind of like stuck there, so it's not like you can climb very high in solo shuffle anyways. I want to play threes again. I even want to play double DPS 2s and get a lot of fun with that. And I want to make again videos about enhancement shaman. I do feel like I miss talking about enhancement shaman in positives, but also in negatives. I love to brainstorm about like builds that I can play, and I feel like I can play today, and I feel like it's not really like a long time between today and the new mid-season patch that is going to come out, and that is going to again shapeshift enhancement shaman into something better or something worse. I think enhancement shaman is very tune dependent. Right now it is like a spec that is kind of tuned into a sense. At least the balancing around enhancement shaman has always been between either it is like too viable and it's very strong and gets like played a lot on pro play, but also played a lot throughout the expansion. Like for example, turbo. If turbo is very strong, it is like a very predominant. Like it's a comp that doesn't really like to be played against. Like turbo can feel very unfair, and I understand that, and I can hear that. But I think to put enhancement shaman outside of turbo, you need to give it more tools to play in others, like in other comps. I don't think they're going to do that. But it's a very balance heavy spec where it's either top of the charts or it's going to be bottom of the charts. Right now it is kind of bottom of the charts, but I do feel like I have the most fun in the game with enhancement shaman. I missed having fun, like purely just fun, not like results based, but just purely fun. And I can just make like cool looking transmogs. You see, like with the shores like going through with my weapon, and also my other shoulder with the other weapon, and like the blue side and the orange side. I like that effect that it has, and playing this spec and having the character be how it is really cool. I just like to play that. Now results, I think for now I'm positive in BGB, I'm positive in Soul Shuffle. It just is like a question of grind, and I will be trying to grind again on the spec and make videos about it and how to perform on these specs with Totemic or Stormbringer, Storm Strike build, or more of a Elementalist build. I'll do those two together and see for you guys and make videos about it for you guys so you can understand the POV of it. Now, I can talk about Arms Warrior really quickly. I want to play Warrior again, like main Warrior again. I mained Dragonflight Warrior throughout the seasons. I played it from season 1 to season 4. But in Dragonflight, is like the warrior that was very interesting to play in my opinion because of the fact that we had 2 double blade storm, and I feel like the war within kind of gimped arms. And Fury got better, obviously, because they got Mob Bladestorm again, but also they have even an availability to play Double Bladestorm if they really so desire. Now, Double Bladestorm is not played too much as a Fury Warrior these days because you want to have that, like the increased healing from Bladestorm. So if you're doing Enraged Regeneration and you're doing a Bladestorm, you're going to use your Unhinged, which is going to do Bloodthirst and obviously is going to heal you full very quickly. So that is an option for them. I want to play a bit of Fury. I know it's going to get, again, nerfed probably in the future, but I do want to emphasize that I prefer arms, and I will be making more arms content. I'll try to do some Fury content here or there, but I do believe that arms is going to get buffed eventually. It's like impossible to have arms like a full season like very bad. That's not possible. I don't see them being like stuck in that bad like environment for very long. I don't know how it is in PvE, but in PvP, I find Arms Warrior not very good, but also like it's clearly just not good. Like it's not like it's you can hesitate about it. It is not true. Like in lobbies for Soul Shuffle, Arms Warrior is like literally the victim of the lobby, and Arms should not be like. In general, in Dragonflight, it was never the case. Like Arms Warrior was never a great like option to go for. And in the War Within, now it's really like the option to kill in Soul Shuffle lobbies, and it already has not really a lot of tools. But again, me playing Arms, I feel like I'm having fun because I like how it plays. It just is like the balancing is so bad, even worse than Enhancement Shaman, and it tells you a bit. Like again, the damage is really like it's easy to understand when where the damage is coming from for arms, so it's easier to peel away. Well, Enhancement Shaman, like the damage is a bit random, and you never know whenever you're going to get damaged. And that's something that it is stronger for Enhancement Shaman, but arms has the sturdiness and has the appeal of having a bit more mobility, but also appeal of if they're doing damage, they're doing more damage than Shaman, like Enhancement Shaman, but it's like it's way more sporadically for Enhancement Shaman to the point where it's very like random whenever you're going to deal damage and whenever someone is going to get damage. While arms, if you're doing Colossus Smash, they know, okay, I'm going to press a CD or I'm going to get away, I'm going to push you away, I'm going to peel you away. So again, Arms Warrior, I'm going to play a bit more. Fury Warrior, I'm going to try to dabble into it. The thing is, my build is crit on arms, and I really love crit. I think the 4 set plays very well with that, so I think that's going to be a very good thing to have. But also in general, I do love to play around crit, to have like more strike critting more often than not. Now that's a risk. I could like again turn my eyes towards mastery, but it will require a lot of like recrafting, so I don't know if I'm going to be in time for the end of the season, which we'll have to see. Now let's talk about Paladin. Now I tested Retribution Paladin. It is really abysmal. I don't like Retribution Paladin currently. I don't know what they did with the spec. It's not like necessarily bad in Soul Shuffle or even in Battleground Blitz or Soul QRBG or even in threes. But I think the damage and how it's like split up is just not. It's not a Retribution Paladin. It become like a dot spec, like a dot heavy spec with. Again, their hero tons, hero of this like what was it called? It was like again with downlights and such. If downlight is the correct term, I think. I find it boring. I think Final Verdict should hit or crit as much as a more strike. Right now, I think more strike is like critting for 1.5 million, maybe a bit more sometimes whenever everything like lines up. But even Retribution Paladin, if everything lines up, they end up to do less damage on final verdict because everything is like front loaded into dots, into your procs, into like your I don't know, man, your procs on your mastery, for example, with your judgment or with your hammer of wrath, and I find it very disturbing. So I decided to actually play just Holy Paladin, and I'll be making a guide very soon because I think I got something very interesting which people are not talking about, and it's working for me right now. Now it could change, but I find it very fun to play. I think it's like probably top 3 healing in Soul Shuffle. It's doing okay, and I think in Soul RPG you can do something. Although there are maps where you're clearly just like not going to do like as much as the other maps, but your healing is actually like decent, and your mana is decent, and your damage is okay. It's not like fantastic, but it's instant at least. So it's not like you're going to get kicked because of that. Like you can do spam denounce as something you can do, but I think it's like a bit more risky, especially versus mages and such, where they can just interrupt you from afar. But if they are like full melees, you can like safely just use denounce to like lower their damage throughput because of like no crits, but also do some respectable damage as well. So Holy Paladin has been very fun, and I'm going to make videos again about Holy Paladin, which I did in the past. Especially in like in Dragonflight, I did that, and I think people did enjoy the guide. So I think I'm going to do that as well, and I think I can also explain the positives and the negatives about Holy Paladin to an extent where people can understand. Okay, this class or this spec is going to be enjoyable for you. Now, outside of that, we can talk about DK. I'm actually like, I was like looking at the list of the characters I was playing, and I was kind of using like an Excel sheet where I decided like with whom am I going to play for the World Within, and where do I enjoy it the most, and what do I feel like, look, I want to be consistent with like videos and content. And I decided to say, look, I'm going to do maximum 4 classes, and those 4 classes should like give me the needs that I want. I want to be able to climb. I want to be able to have videos possible to do. I want to have fun with it. I want to be able to talk about those specs because I have some knowledge on it, or I have enough knowledge, or like plenty of knowledge on it. And I think DK is also in that category of like specs I like to play, where I can talk about it, and in general like can climb with it and explain very throughout what you can expect on those specs and how to perform on those specs. Unholy DK has been very strong. I think it's OP. Let's not like turn around the bush. It should be nerfed. It should be maybe not like completely nerfed, but just like their damage should be a bit less front loaded into diseases, and should be a bit more about like them doing more damage. Which right now the disease itself does just too much damage with like Abomination and Riders of the Apocalypse. Literally like 3 abilities, 4 abilities can just do 700k DPS, which is kind of crazy. And then if you're factoring like your abilities and your procs, it can actually go very high. And I like Unholy DK, even if it gets nerfed, I will try to still find a good build to be able to perform. So I will be playing DK, probably mostly Unholy DK. Frost DK, I like it. I think the issue with Frost DK is that the comps that you can play as Frost DK are not that many, and the difference between Unholy DK and Frost DK is very high. Like it's like even bigger than Fury Warrior and Arms Warrior, and the difference is that Unholy DK can play it literally with any comp, and it will be making it a better comp. And Frost DK doesn't have that leisure, and doesn't have like the PvP talents for it as well. If it had like, if they had the wounds to actually like reduce the like absorb the healing, that would make Frost DK way more competitive. But it is currently not the case. Like the PvP talents are like very hard to like find any like use cases. I think you have like 3 talents that you can take as Frost DK, and you pretty much like change maybe a 4th talent if it's physical. Like for example, you're using Death Strike, which is giving you physical damage reduction that you can use versus like Fury Wars and whatnot. But it's not like you can really take something that is going to help your team to like defeat the enemy faster. That's like something that could be added for Frost Decay, especially with the fantasy around it. But I want to play Frost Decay as well. I do think like the gearing is not as clear cut as Unholy Decay though. So obviously, I'll be playing DK. I'll be trying my hands on that class to perform as well as I can. And I do feel like those four, I'm going to just stick with it and play with it until at least the end of the season, because there's a lot of things that we can look forward to. Some reworks for shaman, some maybe reworks for arms warrior, because I don't think they're going to like keep arms warrior being that weak for that long. Holy Paladin and Retribution Paladin, they're going to get a mini rework as well, and even Frost Decay does get a hero taunt rework, which is going to be quite fun. And in general, I think they're going to work on DK because it is a very popular class right now. It is like a very much working class in the War Within. They really did a good job. It just is like a balancing issue. Maybe top end for Unholy Decay and maybe lower end for Frost Decay. I think it's just a very hard class to balance, but in general they did a way better job than in Dragonflight or in Shadowlands, so that's a thumbs up in my opinion. So that is pretty much the talk I wanted to make about the mains and alts that I'm going to play till the end of the season, and I can say that it is probably the last time I'm going to make this video for this season, but I'll be lying because again, we never know. But I trust that I want to play what is fun. And I do like to be playing those classes, like mostly played classes, but also mostly classes that I played like throughout the expansions, which is Enhancement Shaman, for example, or Elemental Shaman, because we didn't talk about Elemental Shaman, but that is also an option. I'm still playing Elemental Shaman as well. So that would be my ranged option. My melee options would be Warrior, Enhancement Shaman, and DK. My healing option would be Holy Paladin, with the option to be Retribution Paladin once they fix the damage on Infernal Verdict, because this is really ridiculous how less damage it does. It actually needs to revert a lot of those PvP nerfs that they did the same for Arms Warrior. They have both problems for that. And I'm not saying like Retribution Paladin is unplayable, but I think the gameplay is just not suited for me enough to enjoy the gameplay enough. Like it's too much about dots, or if you're playing Templar, it's not strong enough to tell yourself like, look, it's okay to lose a bit of dot damage to get a bit more burst, because it is like also abysmal like the burst that you can do on that hero taunt. But anyways, thank you for watching the video, really I appreciate you. Again, Feral Druids and Balance Druid and Restoration Druid could always be on my mind, but I think the four here are like my end choices for the end of the War Within. And again, you're going to tell me like, again, a video about the mains and alts, and yes, you're right, I think I did like too many of them, but the truth is, like, I love the game so much that I love to play like every single spec and every single class. It has all its great things and also their negatives, but I think like the classes that are having the most fun right now and the most effectiveness and the most like interest for me to talk about it like for hours and hours and hours, those are the full classes. Like I can make a full-on video about Arms Warrior right now if I want to. I can also talk about Fury Warrior and how I find some things good and some things bad. I could make a guide for Fury Warrior as well once I have the gear. Enhancement Shaman, I can talk like about so many things, like adjustments, things that I would like to see, things I would like to change, things I like right now. Those are all subjects I can talk about. Holy Paladin, it's like the healer I have like no more success with in Dragonflight. I had like a lot of fun playing it as well, and in general, I think the Paladin fantasy was always something I really liked in the beginning. Now it just is that Retribution Paladin kind of sucks right now, for me at least. I don't really like it. I think power-wise it's okay, but again, I think they need to change it. And DK is like something that I really liked since like Wrath of the Lich King. It is like the one class I played in Wrath of the Lich King as well, whenever it was busted, whenever it was a bit less. And it kind of gives me nostalgia. that sometimes I need whenever I'm playing the War Within or just World of Warcraft in general. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.